adorable. This is the person who made me realize that I maybe am a little bit small.
You're very tiny.
That's.
How tall are you again? 5 feet?
You told me I'm 5 feet.
You have to be 5 feet because I'm 5 feet. And
I
I'm
told
not
her
looking up when I look at you.
I told her I was 5'1.5", and she's like, "Girl, no."
No, you're not. You're 5 feet.
Yes, Shanna is a writer, and that is why I have chosen
Sorry,
her.
hold on. Let me just sort that in.
She's a writer.
I've always wanted to be a writer. I've always been writing since I was in primary school, but it's just like, Shanna is a writer. And it's like,
And it feels good, right?
I'm Shanna. And I write.
I love that. Yes, into yourself, right? The book, let's show them.
The Subtle Art of Not Giving. Beep. I didn't even curse. I wanted a chance to curse. The Subtle Art of Not Giving. You said the beep, so should I curse now? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a fuck.
There we have it. It was a life-changing book for me.
It was for me as well. That's literally why you got me out of my house.
Yes.
Because when you're like, Shanna, I know you read the book and I want us to talk about it. It's like, probably if it was any other book or any other thing, I'd be like, boy, Laurel, do we have to? Like, but this book was so worth it though.
It is. It is an easy read. It's really
very easy read.
But you know, it took me a while actually.
You see how the book looks? Jesus.
Tattered. And you read it enough time, don't you?
Well, I read it in full once, but I go back to different things because you know how the brain is. Sometimes you need reminders to kind of flip that switch again.
Right. Yeah. All right. Give me one of your highlights from the book.
Be more specific when you say one of the highlights from the book because there are so many. So I'm not. So.
All right. Let me start then. I got from it was that you have to be selective of what you're going to care about because you cannot not care about anything at all. You have to care about something, but you have to choose what to care about or else you're going to be really pretentious. You cannot not care about anything.
I think the reason I decided to even purchase the book or read the book was because I cared about a lot of things. So I did and I was hesitant about reading the book, to be honest, because I was like, well, I do care about a lot of stuff and I don't want to not care. I mean, I want to care about something but not others, and the book felt very rude. Like just the title, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's like, well, why you want me to just not give up about anything? That's kind of. But then when I started reading the book, from the very introduction, he kind of guides, like, this is how I'm gonna write. I'm not actually telling you not to care about anything, and if you like don't care about anything, then something is actually wrong with you. No, really, something is wrong. The book is not to tell you to not care about anything. The book is to help you to guide how you care and to kind of focus your intentions.
That's right.
There are many things that we do care about, and sometimes it can be challenging to decide on what to focus on and what to choose to care about, and then you know what to just kind of release and let go. So what the book does is kind of shift your perspective, and that's the heaviest work, to shift your perspective. Because your perspective is your saving grace. I think Natalie Patterson, one of my favorite poets, said that the way how you look at things, the lens through which you view life, will significantly determine how you experience life and your outlook.
That's right.
Some perspectives can be so damaging and destructive that all you're seeing is just the darkness, and that can be very, very scary, because when that happens, you either choose from a place of fear to stay away and to kind of just give up, or just from a place of anxiety where you do kind of proceed, but you're doing it with so much worry that there's just like so much illusion over your eyes that you're not really freely like living through life. You're kind of just trying to make ends meet with your actions.
And that is kind of That is what we're programmed to believe anyway.
Oh,
that you have
gosh.
to be in this box, and if you step out of that box, it is you're gonna drop.
Yeah. The thing is, we really, really love community, and staying in the box secures community.
You're
We
right.
want to be a,
You're
a part of a group. We want to have a significant other. We want to be a part of groups that just feel right to us. And when we're a part of groups that don't feel right to us, we step out, and it's very courageous and brave. And I'm not just saying that because it sucks not having people to rely on and support you, and when you don't have a set of people who kind of not think exactly like you, but just kind of see life
in the
the way
ballpark.
it's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. So when you do make that choice to do that, it's so we kind of went on a tangent,
But
that's
still relevant.
yeah.
Still relevant.
Yeah.
Let me see. The other thing that I wanted to highlight from it is that if you feel crappy, it is because your brain is telling you that there is a problem that is unresolved.
I love that point that he made in the book. So he basically tells you to see emotions as like a guide. The emotion is an indicator that something is wrong. Similar to, I don't know, like if you get a sprained ankle, the sprained ankle is not trying to bring you down. It's just trying to say, hey, I know you care about your body, so I just want to let you know that something is wrong. So the emotions are sort of like guiding principles to say, hey, you're feeling sad, you're feeling down, you're feeling dumb, you're feeling happy, you're feeling miserable. Knock. Just ask yourself why and not judge the emotion, because I'm not gonna leave. You're gonna have to go through me.
And that is a problem that we have. We have an emotion and we just sit down on it and try to block it out. Like, let me watch something on Netflix.
Let me just
2
distract
days.
myself.
Yeah.
I feel sad. I'm just
sad.
gonna eat some food and watch some TV.
Precisely. we sit with the emotion in a bad way.
Yeah, man, in a bad way. Because the key is to sit with it. But how are you sitting with it? Because if you're not fully present with the emotion, if you're trying to still distract your mind, as if your mind is not smart enough to realize what you're trying to do, then you're not really addressing it. You're kind of just overlooking it, and it doesn't help. It gets worse.
It gets worse. And then if you don't address the emotion, if it doesn't get worse, it will come up again.
Oh gosh,
It will.
it will resurface.
Just deal with it, so you don't have to come back to that now.
I'm reading a
deal
book
with
right
it.
now. My friend Azuri actually recommended it, When Things Fall Apart. So I'm not going to talk about that book because this is what this video is about. But with just saying, just allowing things to fall apart, that's fine. That's fine. Nobody's going to judge you. And even if there are persons who are going to judge you, I hate to break it to you, but it really doesn't matter. It don't matter. It really don't matter.
You know,
it really
people
don't matter.
always are saying, no one can judge me, but people are going to judge. It's
judge.
Like you,
Human beings judge. A part of our brain, like, just we are critical and we want things to be logical and make sense. A part of judging, when it's not on the far end of the spectrum where it's too bad. I'm actually working on an article, The Good Side of Gossiping. So a lot of the times when we judge people, it's easy to just see judgment as bad. But if you kind of just go beyond that just a little bit and try to understand, why is this person judging me? Like, why? It's not to come to an answer that makes you comfortable or whatever, but it's just to go a step further. Why is this person judging me? Or let's go personal now. Why am I judging this person?
That's what I do.
Is it that there's something about them that I think this is a wrong way to live or a wrong way to do that,
Right.
or I would never do that, and if it were me, this, that, and I realize that it's very difficult to be a human and to exist with confidence. So we look to other people to kind of guide how we should live. And sometimes judgment is actually just the flip side of inspiration. So we look to people and their actions that we like or we think we like at the time in our lives, and we aspire towards it. And then we judge those who we don't aspire to be like. And I think sometimes when you reach that space where you're just like that person who you were judging, there's a lot of compassion that comes into play at that point, and you're like, oh, I get it.
I use judgment as a mirror. Like, if I catch myself judging somebody, it's like, why am I judging this person?
Yeah.
Is it something that I don't like in myself, or that I wouldn't like in a partner? And 9.99999 out of 10 times, that is exactly what it is. You know what? Do your business. I'm minding my own business. Do whatever, but I wouldn't like this in myself, and I wouldn't like this in a partner. End of story. I'm no longer judging you. I realize that, yeah, do whatever you're doing, but I wouldn't want it for myself, wouldn't want it for a partner. Just mind your own business, man. It's not that hard.
Minding your own business is a skill. And that's for another conversation. Completely. It's a skill, and I'm not joking. It's something you have to learn how to develop. So so you have another question?
Some people are gonna get drawn out. Whether we consciously recognize it or not, we are always responsible for our experiences.
We are always responsible. That was true. Well, I needed to read a whole chapter on that to agree with it first. So
it's how
you may not be the person. So just other humans passing. That's fine.
I just ignore them all the time anyway. So in the video.
But no. You're responsible for your own life. And you're responsible for the things that happen to you. Surely you may not be the reason why they happen to you. And life, and I know it's said like a million times that life isn't fair. And it's just because of the randomness of life why it's a little bit unfair. You know, things are predictable, and we live in this crazy cosmic universe, and things happen. So things aren't always to our liking. And so from that perspective, things aren't always fair. So things will happen to you. And when things begin to happen to you, and it's taking like sort of a downward, spiral, we kind of feel like, well, I'm not responsible for this because I'm not the reason bad things are happening to me, or, but the truth is, there must come a point where you take responsibility for your life if you're going to effect any kind of change. It's yours.
That is correct.
It's yours.
That is correct.
It's just like owning something. Your life is just one such thing that you own, and unless you take responsibility of it, like you would do your car or your shoes or your watch or your pet, like it's yours. So from that perspective, it's just ABC. It's like it's your life. It's not mine. It's not somebody else's. How are you going to direct it? Treat it, love it, nourish it, hate on it a little bit. Just do whatever you want to do with it, unless you take responsibility. It's just it's a fact.
You have to own it.
It's fact.
I mean, even with me, I accept that, all right, after something happens right now, there is nothing I can do about it apart from learn from it. What did I learn from it? That is all I can do.
And you can actually choose not to learn from it, but then again, that's your choice.
It is.
To choose to not learn from things that happen to you, though, you can, but it isn't worthwhile to just choose not to learn from it, because you're gonna kind of repeat the same pattern, and you're not gonna see.
And that's why you sad.
Yeah, and you're not gonna see anything beneficial from the experience, particularly a negative one, because when positive things happen to us, boy, we're so wrapped up in the awe of it all that we don't even think that positive moments have things that we can learn from. But when things, and I keep doing this in quotations because good and bad experiences are a matter of perspective. When bad things happen to us, it's not so great, it's not what you would have preferred. So kind of sit with it and do try to pick apart the lessons. Take something from it. You try pull something out of it. Flip it.
I agree with that completely. The book is
like amazing. I want to read some of my favorite quotes, but there are so many. All right, so this is so funny, but this is a way I've actually been This is an approach that I've taken for 2021. I don't remember if this is in the book or if this is, because I follow him on Instagram, so I don't know if this is a quote that Mark Manson, either posted or something, or if it's from the book. But it reads, we don't grow by doing more. We grow by our ability to correctly focus on less. And in the era of digitization and social media and just the world being in this flux where we're going, there are so many different things that you can focus on, and it can become a little bit confusing. But when you slow down and you give yourself permission to actually not care or focus about too many things,
Yes.
you're able to kind of carefully select. And then you just give that your attention, and that's actually the beginning of mastery, when you're able to sit down, to choose, and to correctly focus on less. And understand, please understand, you are not missing out on anything by zooming in on what you care about and focusing on that. Don't even kid yourself. Don't make anybody fool you. You don't need to care about all the things all the time. Choose the handful and focus on that.
I've come to realize that I'm able to see better in tunnel vision. Like, I used to be caring about a lot of things and trying to control a lot of things. We just have this
And a
tunnel
lot of the
vision
things, we
that's
can't control. So when I say that, it's not to say, just kind of lay there and give up on life. It's just to accept that we're co-creators in our lives. So think about it like half and half. I get to direct half of the script, and life does its random thing and kind of directs the other half, and that's where the surprise element comes in. You surprise life, and then life surprise you. And you guys just kind of play along. That's the way I choose to look at it. I thought this was shorter. It's actually not shorter. So this is the last part of the book. So Mark in the book details how he travels to so many different places across the world, and I don't remember the specifics because my brain just isn't able to remember specifics, but just he's at the top, and this is how the book ends. He's at the top of this cliff, and the fear is telling him to stop, but he keeps going closer and closer to the edge. No, I am not going to do that, and I am never going to do that. And thank you, Mark, for doing that and writing about it in the book. But it's just the level of fear that he sat with at the top of that cliff and just kind of sat at the edge and just kind of said,
take me kind of thing.
Well, not that I'm going to jump, but the fear is, you can feel the fear and actually do it anyway. You can feel the fear, and
being right there is a moment or an act of surrender, kind of, because you pushed yourself to that point despite the fear. And it's just like, here I am. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when it finished, I was just like, wow, it was a profound point on which to end.
So let me just read something from that. So when he's at the edge, there was a man who was there who was kind of like wondering, like, is this guy going crazy? Why is he okay? Is he gonna jump?
Oh, yes.
And then the man says, is everything okay? How are you feeling? I pause for a moment. So this is Mark talking. I pause for a moment, still smiling. Alive, very alive. The man's skepticism breaks and reveals a smile in its place. He gives a slight nod and heads down the trail. I stand above, taking in the view, waiting for my friends to arrive on the peak.
Surrender.
And it's just this complete sense of surrender. But the thing is, though, I didn't expect this from this book, because Mark is a very skeptical person. He's very logical. He does tons of research. He's the type of person who refuses to talk about something unless he knows about something. But then he still goes back to that level of spirituality where you kind of just accept what is. Just kind of deal with the chips that you're dealt and just make the best of it. Kind of just living with confidence and not being so scared to mess up, because none of us know what we're doing. Let me just say that when I was younger, I thought adults knew what they were doing.
Oh no.
What happens is that they get with more challenges and with growing and with more experiences, your past experiences guide understanding what the future might look like. And so we kind of operate from that place. But we're all just kind of working with our best guess. So, you know, just try your best. That's all you have to do.
And don't watch the next person.
Like, it's true. And
what them doing. Cause
yeah,
don't compare yourself. Because where you are right now, you're doing your best, bro. Just
I used to hear that a lot, you know. I used to hear that, especially in schools. Teachers tell you that a lot, and other persons tell you it quite often. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself. And even adults who tell younger persons not to compare themselves. But no, seriously, don't compare yourself, because
that is what you shouldn't.
Shanna is Shanna and Laurel is Laurel, and while we may have similarities or experiences or challenges or perspectives,
they differ.
Like, you really do get your own journey to walk, your own path to walk, and it's very unique and specific to you. So looking over at Laurel, she might inspire me, but that should propel me on my own journey, and vice versa. Or I can learn from her and vice versa, but it's not to, hey, can I just take how you're doing this thing called life and just use your map to direct myself on what to do, you know? Yeah.
Just use it as a guide, but
and it just, you know, the thing is, so when you do stuff like that, it just makes you feel like shit. Either you feel like shit or you feel like you're the shit, and either way, calm down. It's no, do not run away with your fear or your hope. You are not the shit, and you are not shit. You are just you.
You're just you. I am. Just say that. I am.
Just chill.
I think if you reach this far in the video, you are trying and you want to get better. You want to do better. I am so proud of you. Thank you.
So yeah, that's a lesson from this book. Read it. You really should. But the book is just telling you to chill. I'm not even joking.
Chill, bro.
Chill and do you.
Chill. And please tell them about your copywriting stuff.
Oh, right. So The Right Step is my copywriting service. So we do copywriting and creative writing. Shout out to my two writers, Brittany and Ikem. So I started it in 2018, but I was in corporate at that time, so I was just doing it on the side, and I decided to kind of give it full focus sometime last year in the latter part, and I've just been doing that. It can be really, it's odd being an entrepreneur, and it's odd having your own business, because there's just so much to learn, and most of the time you'll feel like, you know, what the heck am I doing? But I really do have this zeal and this passion for writing, and so when all else fails, I just rely on the fact that I'm doing what I do love, and that will sustain me. Like, I'm doing what I want to do, and therefore, you know, even if it
so
gets,
you
know, not so, even if I have the ups and downs, it's just a part of the ride. Several weeks ago, a friend of mine asked me what it's like to be an entrepreneur. I would say it's like being in love with the trajectory of your life, literally being in love, and whether you have highs and lows, you guys go and just rock it together.
Love that.
It's just a choice. It's a shift in perspective, and it's just a choice to kind of go through life this way. It's tough sometimes, but it depends on how you look at it. It's
your journey.
Yeah, and I'm really doing just something that I wanted to do. One of the biggest fears I've always had growing up is just settling on what I would settle on. I have a really huge fear of settling on things that I cannot sustain. Even if on the outside it looks good to somebody else, if I am not able to joyously do it every day, or even do it when I'm miserable or not feeling up to it, if me can't do it, if I can't sustain it, no matter how pretty it looks, I'm not taking it on.
That's right.
And so that's my writing service.
I'll put the link in the description.
So guys, reach out to me for your copywriting needs. You know, if you need a resume, if you need a script, if you need web copy written, if you need just take the right step. Literally anything you can think of that would require writing, that's us.
Especially if you don't like doing it.
Especially if you don't like writing.
Outsourcing.
Don't beat yourself up. I am here, and my writers are here. Hire us. Let's write
Love
for you.
that. Thank you so much for your time.
It was
and-
great. Laurel, it feels like talking to you all the time. We're always talking. So it's literally like, hey, let's just do one of our talks that we always do and just put up a camera there.
Yeah, this was us.
And-
This was us. This is us.
And just this is us all the time.
Well, actually, it's Unum thank. Thanks for tuning in, listening to our conversation.
Yeah. Bye, guys.